This is Gospel Music Today. We are at the National Quartet Convention with the Gann brothers, and sitting next to me is Phil Gann. Phil, welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I'm going to have you introduce the rest of the group.
Okay. Starting over on the right is Craig Pippin. He's the newest member of our group. Took Calvin's place when he left to go with his family. Behind me is Kyle Petty.
Now, 29 years. Take me back to the beginning. How did the group originally get together?
My dad used to get me and Calvin and Gary in front of anybody he could let us sing for. And we started singing harmony at a very early age. And he would stand us up on boxes behind the pulpit and let us sing and we were actually the music for every church we went to. So it started at a very early age for all of us kids.
When did you start to travel as a full-time ministry?
Calvin and I, we at a high school, felt a calling to travel and sing. That's what we love to do because of what my dad instilled in us at an early age. And we always enjoyed singing in the harmonies that went along with Southern gospel. And right out of high school, we decided that we wanted to form our first group. And we contacted a couple of guys friends of ours in high school, and they'd sing in some choirs and stuff. And that got us going. And our first group was named Harvest. It wasn't the Gann brothers. And the Gann brothers happened somewhat later. So that's when it happened, right out of high school.
Now, we've got a guy here with some experience, I guess, and Jesus is coming, get ready. That's not a warning, but you've got something to do with that song.
I co-wrote that song with Philip Hughes, who is lead singer for the Kingsman Quartet, and the Anchorman cut it, and it did pretty good for us. Keep those cards and letters coming, by the way, guys.
Now, where does a song like that come from? Or when you're writing a song, where do the ideas come from?
Well, Philip wrote the first verse and chorus, and I was traveling with him and a guy named Steve White from down in Florida, a group called Harmony Creek. And we got off the bus one afternoon after a weekend of traveling, and Philip called me on the phone and said, they call me Greg just like these guys do. My name's Craig. But he said, Greg, he said, I need a second verse for this song. And I said, well, I'll work on it, and I'll get back with you. So about 20 minutes later, I called him up on his cell phone. He was headed back to Alabama Enterprise, where he lived at the time. And I called him and I said, I got your second verse. And I sang it to him over the phone. And he said, I like it. So he said, I'm going to give you half of it. So and we co-wrote that one together.
All right. Now, Kyle, what brought you into Southern gospel singing on this level?
Story very much like Phil's. Began singing at church with some guys from church, and actually one of the gentlemen that taught me how to play the piano was our minister of music, and I was our church pianist. And we just, hey, got a couple guys, let's try something, you know. We started doing that. I was about 9th, 10th grade, and started singing. So we formed a little quartet there at my church there in Hosford, Florida, and began singing and sang for about 4 or 5 years together. And that group continues to go on today. Been around since 1986, and through the years I met up with Calvin and Phil, and when Craig was singing with the group back in the 80s, if he had to be out for a date, they would call me, and I was just fresh out of high school, and they'd say, we need you to come fill in for Craig. And it was an honor to do that then, and it's still an honor to sing with them now. And I've been with them 11 years, and it's just been a great time. We really enjoy being together, enjoy the fellowship, enjoy serving God with two men of God like this, and love running up and down the road with them.
Now, I don't know how you find the time, but you're also really involved in your local community.
Yes, sir. I used to teach school, and enjoyed doing that fresh out of college. And when I did that for a few years, I wanted to get into politics, something I've always had a passion for. And I ran for a school board seat there in Liberty County, Florida, and slipped up and won, and got elected in '02 and was reelected in '06. Ran without opposition, and I'm back up for reelection next year. So really enjoy that. It takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time away from family. Unfortunately, that's kind of the downside of it. But my kids are so supportive of what I do. My wife, got a beautiful wife. And we all have very supportive wives. They really support us 100%. So they support us when we're home, and we really spend good quality time when we're home. We kind of clear the calendar for them, you know.
And if you're listening, send some money. We need some more money.
Okay. Have you guys been recording?
We've got a new project coming up in about 30 days. We've been in the studio at Mark Coleman's studio in Navarre, Florida, and we've got all the tracks cut and half of the vocals, so it's coming along real nice. Yep.
And the Gann Brothers website.
www.thegannbrothers.com.
Well, guys, thank you very much for talking to us on Gospel Music Today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
for having
much.
us.
There's more coming up on Gospel Music Today.